What if your morning breakfast is actually making your arthritis worse? Most people have no idea that what they eat first thing in the morning can either fuel inflammation or calm it. And for those of us over 60, that choice matters more than ever. Every bite counts. I'm Dr. Justin Keller, and in this video, I'll show you the top 3 best breakfasts for arthritis relief, based on real science, not trends. These meals are simple, healing, and designed specifically for people living with joint pain, stiffness, and inflammation. You'll learn the key ingredients that reduce swelling and support your joints, why certain breakfast foods actually trigger pain, how to build a morning meal that helps you move better throughout the day. And make sure you watch until the very end, because the first breakfast I share might surprise you the most. It's the one I recommend most often to my own patients, and it can make a real difference in just a few days. Before we begin, do me a quick favor. Type your city in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from. And if this video helps you, hit that like button and subscribe to Glowing Age. It tells me you want more honest, useful content like this to stay independent and well after 60. Let's get into it. Why breakfast matters for arthritis relief. Did you know the first thing you eat each day could either fight inflammation or feed it? Most people don't realize how much power their breakfast has, especially when it comes to managing arthritis. As a doctor who's worked with older adults for decades, I've seen time and again how making even small changes to that very first meal can lead to real, noticeable relief in joint pain, swelling, and stiffness. Let's break it down. Overnight, your body enters a natural fasting state. During sleep, inflammation builds, especially if you're living with arthritis. That's why mornings often come with stiff fingers, sore knees, or that dragging ache in your lower back. You're not imagining it. It's biochemistry. Your immune system has been active through the night, and those inflammatory molecules, like cytokines and CRP, are circulating higher in the early hours. So when you wake up, what you feed your body next truly matters. If your breakfast is full of refined carbs, sugars, or processed meats, think pastries, white toast, bacon, sugary cereals, you're giving your body fuel that spikes blood sugar and triggers even more inflammatory response. It's like tossing gasoline onto a fire your body was already trying to put out. On the other hand, if you choose a meal rich in fiber, antioxidants, omega-3s, and healthy fats, you can help calm that fire. You're giving your joints the support they desperately need. And it doesn't take a complicated diet plan, just thoughtful choices. Research consistently shows that high-fiber, nutrient-dense breakfasts are associated with lower levels of inflammation markers in the blood. One study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed fiber-rich breakfasts had significantly reduced CRP levels compared to those who skipped or ate processed foods. Another study linked omega-3 intake, found in foods like flaxseed, chia, and walnuts, with reduced joint tenderness and morning stiffness in people with rheumatoid arthritis. But this isn't just about nutrients. It's about rhythm. Your metabolism is more responsive in the morning, especially after age 60. As we get older, our digestion slows, our insulin sensitivity decreases, and our ability to process sugars gets weaker. That means your body is more reactive to poor choices, yet more responsive to good ones. A healthy breakfast doesn't just help with inflammation, it supports blood sugar control, energy levels, and even brain function throughout the day. There's also the issue of mobility. When arthritis pain is high in the morning, it becomes harder to prep nutritious meals later in the day. That's why starting strong with breakfast becomes a kind of early investment in how the rest of your day goes. Less pain in the morning often leads to more movement, better circulation, and a more positive mood. And yes, mood matters, because chronic pain isn't just physical, it affects your emotional resilience too. I've had patients tell me, "I didn't think breakfast mattered. I thought skipping it helped me lose weight or gave my joints a break." But the truth is, skipping meals, especially breakfast, can lead to greater systemic inflammation. When your body is in a fasted state too long, it starts releasing stress hormones like cortisol. And guess what cortisol does? It increases inflammation. Not to mention the risk of blood sugar crashes that lead to overeating later or energy dips that make movement feel impossible. So the next time you reach for breakfast, ask yourself, am I feeding the pain or fighting it? Your first bite could be your first step toward less swelling, easier movement, and a better day overall. In the next section, we'll look at the specific ingredients that are best for arthritis relief and why they work. Best ingredients to include in a healing breakfast. Most people focus on what not to eat for arthritis, but let's shift that thinking, because the real power lies in what you do put on your plate. When I sit with my older patients, one of the first things I encourage them to do is start building their breakfast with intention. Not with fear, not with restriction, but with purpose. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. And certain ingredients send your body a clear message. Reduce inflammation, protect the joints, and begin healing. Let's talk about what those ingredients are. First, omega-3 fatty acids. These are one of the most powerful tools we have for calming inflammation, especially in arthritic joints. Found in ground flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts, and even small amounts in pasture-raised eggs, omega-3s act like natural lubricants for the body. They help reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines, which are the molecules behind swelling and joint pain. In fact, multiple clinical studies show that regular omega-3 intake leads to reduced morning stiffness and fewer tender joints in people with rheumatoid arthritis. Next, we need antioxidants, compounds that protect your cells from damage and inflammation. Berries, especially blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, are packed with antioxidants like anthocyanins, which have been shown to lower C-reactive protein levels, a marker of systemic inflammation. Including just half a cup of berries in your breakfast can make a real difference over time. And the natural sweetness also satisfies sugar cravings in a much healthier way. Then there's fiber. A high-fiber breakfast doesn't just help your digestion, it actually supports your immune system. Why? Because fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and when your gut is healthy, inflammation throughout the body, including your joints, tends to go down. Oats, whole grains like buckwheat or quinoa, and seeds such as flax and chia are excellent sources of fiber. More importantly, they don't spike blood sugar the way refined grains do. Speaking of blood sugar, stable energy is another hidden key to arthritis relief. When your blood sugar fluctuates wildly, inflammation increases. That's why we want breakfasts that are balanced, with complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and a moderate amount of clean protein. It keeps your energy even, supports your joints, and prevents those midday crashes that often lead to poor food choices. Let's also talk about healthy fats. Avocados, nuts, and seeds provide monounsaturated fats that have been shown to reduce inflammation in people with chronic joint conditions. These fats also help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin D and E, which are critical for joint health and immune function. Remember, fat isn't the enemy. The right fats are your body's natural defense system. Another ingredient you might be surprised by is spices. Turmeric, for instance, contains curcumin, a compound with potent anti-inflammatory properties. When paired with a pinch of black pepper, its absorption increases significantly. Adding turmeric to oatmeal, smoothies, or even scrambled eggs is one small habit that can yield big results over time. Ginger is another wonderful option, especially in teas or smoothies, for calming joint pain. One word of caution: many breakfast staples work against these healing foods. Highly processed meats like bacon or sausage, sugary granola, and white breads can undo the benefits of your healthy choices. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy them, but I always tell patients, lead with healing foods first. Crowd your plate with the good, and the bad naturally starts to fade. Here's the good news: you don't need exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. The most powerful anti-inflammatory ingredients are often already in your pantry. And if they're not, they're easy to find and budget-friendly. Just think about this. What if your breakfast was as healing as your medication? What if the foods you eat each morning were chosen as carefully as the pills in your organizer? That shift, small but intentional, can have lasting effects on your mobility, your energy, and your daily comfort. In the next part, we'll take everything we just learned and turn it into a real meal. I'll show you one of my favorite anti-inflammatory breakfast bowls, simple, delicious, and gentle on your joints. Breakfast 1, Berry and Flaxseed Oatmeal Bowl. If there's one breakfast I recommend more than any other for arthritis relief, it's this one. Simple, soothing, and backed by science. Imagine starting your day with a warm bowl of comfort, soft, creamy oats, juicy berries bursting with flavor, and a hint of cinnamon floating through the air. But this isn't just about taste. This breakfast is medicine in a bowl. Let me walk you through why it works and exactly how to make it. We start with steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats. Not instant. Why? Because these less processed versions retain more fiber and take longer to digest, which keeps your blood sugar stable. That's crucial. Remember, fluctuating blood sugar spikes inflammation, and steady energy helps your joints feel more supported. Oats also contain a unique type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which has been shown in clinical studies to lower levels of C-reactive protein, a major inflammation marker in arthritis. In fact, researchers have found that people who eat oats regularly show improvements in inflammation and lipid profiles, meaning better heart health and joint health. Next comes ground flaxseed, one of nature's richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Just 2 tablespoons stirred into your oatmeal provide your body with alpha-linolenic acid, which has been shown to reduce stiffness, swelling, and pain, especially in the morning hours when arthritis tends to flare. Flaxseed is also rich in lignans, powerful plant compounds with antioxidant effects. Now let's add mixed berries. I recommend blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries, frozen or fresh. These aren't just for color or sweetness. They're packed with anthocyanins, which have been clinically proven to reduce joint pain and oxidative stress. In one randomized controlled trial, participants who ate berries daily reported significant reductions in arthritis symptoms over just 12 weeks. And unlike sugary syrups or processed fruit cups, these natural berries fight inflammation rather than feed it. Then we enhance the anti-inflammatory power with a pinch of cinnamon. Not only does it make the bowl more fragrant and flavorful, but cinnamon also has blood sugar-lowering properties. It improves insulin sensitivity and reduces inflammatory markers like TNF-alpha. That's especially helpful for those managing both arthritis and metabolic conditions like diabetes or prediabetes, which, let's be honest, is a common combination after 60. To boost the healing profile even further, I often add a spoonful of almond butter. It's a great source of monounsaturated fats, which support joint lubrication and help the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Just make sure you're choosing a brand with no added sugars or hydrogenated oils. The simpler, the better. If you want an optional but powerful upgrade, stir in a pinch of turmeric while the oats cook. Paired with a tiny dash of black pepper, turmeric becomes more bioavailable and provides curcumin, one of the most studied anti-inflammatory compounds out there. A 2020 meta-analysis of randomized trials showed curcumin supplementation significantly reduced arthritis pain and improved joint function. Now here's the best part. This meal isn't just healing, it's practical. You can prepare it the night before as overnight oats. Just soak the oats, flaxseed, cinnamon, and berries in a plant-based milk like almond or oat milk and refrigerate overnight. In the morning, just warm it gently or enjoy it cold. It's soft on sore hands, easy to digest, and comforting when the joints feel stiff. Some of my patients even keep small, pre-portioned jars of dry oats, flax, and cinnamon in the cupboard, so all they need to do is scoop, stir, and eat. For those living alone or dealing with reduced hand mobility, this kind of simplicity makes consistency possible. One final note, don't underestimate the emotional impact of a warm, nourishing breakfast. Food is more than physical fuel, it's grounding. And when you begin your day with something that feels good, tastes good, and does good, it sets the tone for more healing choices to follow. So if you've been reaching for toast and jam or skipping breakfast altogether, consider making this your new morning ritual. 1 bowl, 5 minutes. A big difference in how your joints feel today and in the weeks to come. In the next segment, we'll shift gears and talk about a savory option. Rich in protein, healthy fats, and designed to give you strength and mobility throughout the day. Breakfast 2, savory avocado and egg toast, anti-inflammatory twist. You don't have to choose between delicious and anti-inflammatory. You can have both on a single piece of toast. This next breakfast is one I recommend often for older adults living with arthritis because it's high in protein, rich in healthy fats, and deeply satisfying, without triggering inflammation. In fact, for those who prefer savory over sweet in the morning, this can become a go-to staple that not only soothes joints, but also sustains energy for hours. Let's break it down. Start with a good foundation, whole grain or sprouted grain bread. This isn't just about fiber, though that's important. Sprouted grains are easier to digest and have a lower glycemic index, meaning they won't spike your blood sugar. That's critical because blood sugar instability is a silent driver of chronic inflammation, including in your joints. Studies have shown that refined carbohydrates, like white bread, are linked to higher levels of inflammatory markers. Switching to fiber-rich, slow-digesting bread helps reduce that inflammatory cascade. Next comes the star ingredient, avocado. This creamy fruit is one of the best anti-inflammatory foods we have. It's packed with monounsaturated fats, which help reduce joint stiffness and improve the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like a D and E, all of which play key roles in immune function and tissue repair. Avocados also contain potassium and magnesium, minerals that are often low in older adults and essential for reducing muscle cramping and joint tenderness. But there's more to avocado than fat. It also delivers phytosterols and carotenoids, both of which have been shown in research to lower inflammatory activity in the body. And it's soft, making it easy to mash or slice, even on days when your grip strength is low. Now let's talk about eggs, preferably pasture-raised. Eggs are an excellent source of high-quality protein, which is vital for preserving muscle mass as we age. Remember, the stronger the muscles around your joints, the more stability and protection your joints have. Eggs also contain choline, an essential nutrient involved in reducing inflammation and supporting brain health, something that becomes increasingly important after 60. And contrary to outdated myths, eggs, when eaten in moderation, don't raise cholesterol in a way that harms heart health. In fact, the antioxidants lutein and zeaxanthin found in egg yolks are beneficial for eye health, another concern as we age. To make this breakfast even more powerful, consider sautéing a handful of dark leafy greens like spinach or kale to serve on top or the side. These greens are rich in vitamin K, which has been shown to play a role in joint health and reducing inflammatory markers. One long-term study found that people with higher dietary vitamin K intake had significantly less osteoarthritis progression in the knees. Now for the twist, the anti-inflammatory boost. Sprinkle turmeric right over the avocado mash. Yes, right on the toast. Add a dash of black pepper, too. It increases the bioavailability of curcumin by up to 2,000%. The subtle warmth of turmeric blends beautifully with the creamy avocado and adds a layer of protection for your joints. You can also top it with a few hemp seeds or pumpkin seeds for crunch and an extra dose of zinc and magnesium, minerals that help calm inflammation and support immune health. And if you're sensitive to eggs or avoiding animal products, you can swap the egg for tofu, hummus, or even smoked salmon for an omega-3 boost. What I love most about this breakfast is that it's deeply functional. It's not just about lowering pain today. It's about nourishing your joints, muscles, and nerves in a way that supports long-term mobility. That's especially important for those navigating life after 60, when every bite needs to count more than ever. And let's not forget, this meal is easy to assemble, gentle on your hands, and completely adaptable. You can prep components ahead of time, boil a few eggs in advance, pre-slice your avocado, even store turmeric pepper mix in a shaker. That kind of prep can turn a painful morning into an empowered one. So if you've been stuck in a breakfast rut, reaching for processed meats or skipping meals altogether, try this savory, anti-inflammatory toast instead. It's rich, comforting, and purpose-built for your joints. Coming up next, I'll show you how to make a quick, no-cook breakfast that's perfect for busy mornings or low-energy days, while still offering big benefits for arthritis relief. Breakfast 3. Anti-inflammatory smoothie for on-the-go relief. Some mornings, even standing at the stove feels like too much, especially when your hands are aching or your back stiff. That's when this smoothie becomes more than convenient. It becomes healing. For those living with arthritis, energy often comes in waves. Some days you wake up ready to move. Other mornings, even making breakfast feels like a chore. But skipping it only worsens the problem. You need something fast, nourishing, and deeply supportive of your joints. That's why I always recommend keeping one anti-inflammatory smoothie recipe in your rotation, a no-cook option that delivers relief by the glass. Let's start with the base, unsweetened almond milk or oat milk. These are dairy-free, easy on digestion, and don't promote the inflammatory response that cow's milk can trigger in some people with arthritis, especially those with sensitivities. Almond milk adds vitamin E, a natural antioxidant, while oat milk provides a small dose of fiber and B vitamins. Both help protect your cells and calm inflammation. Next, add a generous handful of leafy greens like spinach or kale. These are nutritional powerhouses, loaded with vitamin K, magnesium, and folate. Research has shown that vitamin K plays a direct role in bone metabolism and helps prevent the breakdown of cartilage, a critical concern in arthritis. Greens are also low in calories but high in micronutrients, helping reduce inflammation at the cellular level. Now for the fruit. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, or blackberries are best. These fruits contain high levels of polyphenols, which have been shown to decrease inflammatory markers in people with osteoarthritis. They also add natural sweetness, which means you don't need to rely on added sugars or syrups that spike inflammation. Then we bring in the protein. For older adults, muscle maintenance is just as important as joint care. Every year after 60, we naturally lose muscle mass, and weaker muscles mean more pressure on joints. That's why I always include a scoop of plant-based protein powder or collagen peptides in this smoothie. It keeps you full longer and helps protect the structural support your joints need. Next, let's add chia seeds, small but mighty. Just 1 tablespoon provides omega-3 fatty acids, protein, fiber, and antioxidants. Chia helps fight inflammation, supports digestion, and helps regulate blood sugar, a trifecta for arthritis relief. You can also use ground flaxseed if you prefer a smoother texture. Now here's the real anti-inflammatory punch: fresh ginger and turmeric. A small knob of ginger adds warmth, eases nausea, and contains gingerol, a compound shown in studies to reduce joint pain and swelling. Turmeric, as we've discussed, contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. Just a half teaspoon is enough, especially when paired with a dash of black pepper to enhance absorption. Optional but powerful additions include half a banana for potassium and natural sweetness, avocado slices for creaminess and joint-supporting healthy fats, cinnamon to stabilize blood sugar and add flavor. Blend everything for about 30-45 seconds until smooth. What you get is not just a drink, it's joint therapy in a glass. It's hydrating, nourishing, and ideal for mornings when chewing feels difficult, energy is low, or digestion needs something gentle. This smoothie also travels well. Pour it into a thermos or reusable bottle, and you've got a portable breakfast for doctor's appointments, errands, or simply enjoying on the porch with your morning paper. And because it's liquid, the nutrients absorb quickly, giving your body exactly what it needs when it needs it most. Many of my patients tell me this smoothie has become their morning ritual. It's fast, filling, and calming, both physically and mentally. And when you start your day feeling supported, it changes your posture, your outlook, and how you relate to your pain. You don't need a fancy blender. You don't need exotic ingredients. You just need to know what your joints crave and give it to them in a form your body can use. In the final section, we'll look at what to avoid, because sometimes what not to eat is just as important as what's on your plate or in your cup. Common breakfast mistakes that can worsen arthritis. It's not just what you eat, it's what you don't realize you're eating that may be making your joints worse. I wish I could count how many times I've seen patients doing all the right things, taking their medications, doing gentle exercise, trying to eat healthy, yet still waking up with aching joints, stiff fingers, or knees that won't bend. And more often than not, when we take a closer look at their breakfast habits, we find hidden mistakes that quietly fan the flames of inflammation. Let's go through the most common ones, and more importantly, what to do instead. Mistake 1: skipping breakfast altogether. This one surprises people. Many adults over 60 still believe skipping breakfast helps with weight control or gives their digestion a rest. But here's the truth. For older bodies, especially those living with arthritis, skipping that first meal of the day can actually backfire. After an overnight fast, your cortisol levels are naturally high. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and when it remains elevated, it contributes to systemic inflammation. A balanced breakfast helps regulate cortisol, supports stable blood sugar, and protects joints from unnecessary inflammatory stress. Skipping meals also leads to overeating later, often of the wrong kinds of foods. For someone with arthritis, that can mean more swelling, more stiffness, and less energy to move. Mistake 2. Eating high-sugar or processed carb breakfasts. This is the most common breakfast trap. Cereal, white toast, packaged muffins, pancakes with syrup. They may feel comforting, even nostalgic, but these foods spike your blood sugar, which triggers an inflammatory response. Inflammation is not just about pain, it's about how your immune system reacts to food. When sugar floods the bloodstream, your body responds as if it's under attack, releasing inflammatory cytokines that worsen arthritis symptoms. And here's something most people don't know. Even healthy-looking cereals marketed as whole grain or low-fat are often full of added sugars and artificial preservatives. Check the labels. If sugar or corn syrup is one of the first 3 ingredients, it's likely harming more than helping. Mistake 3. Skimping on protein and healthy fats. Protein is essential to maintain muscle mass, which supports your joints. But too many breakfasts are heavy on carbohydrates and light on protein, leaving your muscles undernourished and your joints unsupported. Healthy fats, meanwhile, are often avoided due to outdated fears around cholesterol. But studies now show that monounsaturated fats, like those in avocado, olive oil, and nuts, and omega-3s, like flaxseed and chia, actually reduce joint inflammation and improve mobility. A breakfast without these macronutrients can lead to blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and greater inflammation throughout the day. Mistake 4. Over-reliance on processed breakfast meats. Bacon, sausage, and ham are staples in many traditional breakfasts, but they're also among the worst offenders when it comes to inflammation. These meats are often high in saturated fats, sodium, and preservatives like nitrates, which have been linked to increased joint inflammation and cardiovascular risk. Occasional indulgence is fine, but regular consumption can undo the benefits of even the healthiest habits elsewhere in your day. Mistake 5. Not drinking enough water in the morning. Dehydration is subtle but significant. Overnight, we lose fluid through breathing and perspiration. When you wake up, your body is naturally dehydrated, and your joints need fluid to stay cushioned and mobile. Starting the day without rehydrating leads to stiffness, fatigue, and even mistaken hunger. A tall glass of water with lemon first thing in the morning can rehydrate tissues and help flush inflammatory byproducts from your system. Now, this isn't about guilt. Most of us grew up with habits that made sense back then, but our bodies change, especially after 60. What worked when you were 30 doesn't work the same now. That's not failure, it's biology. The good news, once you know what your joints need and what they don't, you can make small, powerful changes. Start by swapping out sugary cereals for oats with berries. Replace breakfast meats with a boiled egg and greens. Trade white toast for sprouted grain. And above all, be consistent. Because healing isn't about one perfect meal. It's about quiet, steady nourishment over time. Your joints don't need perfection. They need support. Your breakfast is the first chance each day to give them just that. And now you know how. Now you know. Your breakfast can be one of your greatest tools for managing arthritis. We talked about 3 powerful meals. A warm, fiber-rich oatmeal bowl packed with omega-3s. A savory, protein-boosting avocado and egg toast. And an easy, no-cook anti-inflammatory smoothie for days when your energy is low. We also looked at some common mistakes, the habits that sneak inflammation into your body without you even realizing it. If you're dealing with joint pain, don't wait. Try just one of these breakfast changes this week. See how your body responds. Small steps add up, and I've seen these meals change lives, not overnight, but steadily, gently, and powerfully. And I want to hear from you. Which of these meals are you most excited to try? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to include your city if you haven't already. It's always inspiring to see this community grow. If this video helped you, like it and subscribe to Glowing Age. It helps me keep bringing you honest, compassionate guidance you can use every day. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.